here at the Cobb Performing Arts Center in Atlanta, Georgia for the SMITE World Championships. It's a 3-day tournament and there are a massive amount of really skilled teams. So if you haven't heard of SMITE, it's basically a mythology-themed action game. Currently only on the PC, though it is also coming out on the Xbox One, and is a MOBA. So one of the top 3 MOBAs actually, which includes Dota and LoL. So if you don't know what those are, it's basically a multiplayer online battle arena game, and they are hugely competitive. Hi-Rez are one of the biggest gaming studios in the entire southeast of America, which is a pretty big call, and you might know them from Tribes Ascend, though they are of course now making SMITE. And it has obviously grown to be big enough to have an international world tournament where there are 5 different regions that teams are coming from, with SK Gaming actually being the favourite at this point. So some of these players, some from Europe, some from Brazil, have actually dropped out of high school or gone to online learning instead so that they can play the game full time and dedicate all of their time to actually practicing. And I can understand why when the winners win $1.1 million. It's an overall prize pool of $2.5 million, which is actually funded by SMITE's Odyssey program, which basically meant that they had a store where players themselves could buy things and a certain amount of proceeds would go towards this prize pool. So it's kind of like a community-funded tournament in a way that's kind of really nice. So I'm here with Todd, who is the COO of Hi-Rez Studios. We're at the SMITE World Championships. So what actually goes into planning a massive event like this?
Wow, there's about 1,000 things. Yeah, so it starts with picking a venue. You know, unfortunately, I think we got a really good one. You know, the Cobb Energy Center. It's actually it's kind of like a small version of the Sydney Opera House. I mean, literally, they I think modeled some of the design off of the inside of that, only smaller. So, and I think being that it's a concert venue and not actually a sports venue, it's a really nice vibe for people watching the event.
So how do you think it's gone so far?
We're really pleased. I mean, all the development team is here. That's the other nice thing of having it here in Atlanta, is because our studio is just up the road in Alpharetta. So we have the whole development team who is able to be here for the 3 days. They all have smiles on their face. You know, they've been working on this game forever, and to seeing the super fans here, you know, dressed up as characters that they've designed, that's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been fantastic, and this is what, the 3rd biggest esports event ever.
It is.
It's a pretty big deal.
It is, thanks to the community, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we started with what we thought was a pretty decent sized prize, $600,000 for video games, and then the community came out and, you know, has quadrupled it, raising over $2 million themselves. So as you said, it's the 3rd biggest, and really it's Dota and Dota 2, which is an awesome 10-year-old franchise that's above SMITE in its 1st year. So yeah, we're humbled and a little blown away. So
aside from esports, which is obviously doing really well, what are goals for SMITE in 2015?
Well, I alluded to one, which is the new platform of Xbox One. That's a pretty big deal because MOBA is the world's most played genre, but console gamers haven't really had a chance to experience it, with a few kind of small exceptions, and never on a next generation console. So SMITE's going to be the first MOBA on next generation console with Xbox One. So that's a big deal for our current players. On PC as well as Xbox, a new Conquest map. So that's the competitive map, and the team's been working really hard on an art refresh and some gameplay changes. At PAX Australia, we launched servers for the Oceanic region with Australia and New Zealand, and we want to continue that. We're in beta in China right now and expect that the game will launch in that region. There's a lot of gamers over there apparently, so they tell me. So that should help grow the game as well.
So since it launched in 2014, at least that was when it launched for us in Australia, what's been the most exciting thing for you to watch grow?
I'd say, I mean, personally, just seeing how much the game has improved visually from beta, it's come a long way. Every map, more than 20 gods have been redone from their original design and just given a graphical facelift, which has benefited PC players, and also the new Xbox One version will also benefit from that because it looks really sweet on the TV now.
And in terms of esports, what do you see happening over the next 12 months or so?
So esports, again, I think definitely new regions, and the regions that are participating this year are going to get much stronger. There's great potential from the teams from Latin America and China that are participating this year, but they haven't had that much time with the game compared to other areas, and they haven't faced a lot of stiff competition. There's just fewer teams. That'll definitely change over the next 12 months. So I expect those regions to come very hard. We expect Oceania region to come hard, since you guys have servers, and lag is no longer an excuse. I mean, you know, now it's all on you guys. And so yeah, I think those will be kind of the major changes on the PC is more regions, and then, you know, I would say cautiously optimistic around tournaments for Xbox One. We will hold tournaments for Xbox One. You need a combination of development support and community actually wanting to play it, but assuming that there's that appetite, then we'll support it, and we expect that should grow as well.
Well, I guess my final question is just, what are you most excited about in the future of SMITE?
Wow, most excited about? The new God is pretty sweet, but I can't talk about that. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, right now I'm just excited about tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty huge event, you know, the fact that we've gathered all these people together, that these teams that have been working so hard, and many of them traveled, you know, many hundreds of miles to be here, are competing for a prize pool that's freaking enormous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow and watching the game.
Yeah, the final's going to be really exciting. It is particularly amazing how well China has done, considering how little of the game they've had to play. It's crazy.
We're all very afraid of them for next year, so yeah.
Yeah, they're going to dominate, probably. Well, thank you so much for your time, Todd. It's been awesome.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.